guys? Welcome back to another episode here on Above Average. My name is Trevor. If you're new to the channel, obviously leave a like and subscribe. That'd be dope. If not, all good. No hard feelings. We got a good one for you today. We're talking about three players of the Edmonton Oilers. Kind of, are they still with the Edmonton Oilers? I don't know. But kind of, sort of, they are. Evander Kane, Kailer Yamamoto, and Jesse Puljujärvi. Goal, Jesse Puljujärvi. Yeah, so essentially those are the three players we're talking about, and we're gonna be, if I'm the GM, that's what we're gonna be breaking down. We have to only keep two, and we have to let go of one, and I'm gonna break down, which is the most realistic, what would be the best, in my opinion, obviously, what would be the best take that the Oilers, decide to do for, these three players this season, or this offseason, I should say. And yeah, that's kind of what I got for this video. So with that being said, let's get down to business. Let's start this thing. And to start it all off, we got to go with Evander Franklin Kane. Evander Frank Jr. Kane? Something like that. I know he has Frank in the middle name, but anyway. 3, 2, 1. Evander Kane played 43 games this year for the Edmonton Oilers. In those 43 games, he registered 39 points, just under a point per game performance from Evander Kane. He had 22 goals and 17 assists in the regular season, and in the playoffs, he was able to play 15 games, registering 13 goals and 4 assists, just under a goal per game performance for him in the playoffs, and he was just over a point per game with 17 points in 15 games played. It's no surprise Evander Kane is very strong on the puck. He has a knack for scoring, and you could clearly tell in his tenure with the Oilers. He's physical, which was huge for the Oilers in the playoffs. The only thing is he still does have quite a bit of baggage. His speed was definitely starting to come back to him later in the season, which was evident by the points he was putting up. It made our top 6 lethal, and without Kane in the picture, it kind of opens up a big hole, one I don't think any current Oiler is ready to fill. It's reported his number to all the teams in the NHL is $8 million, $1 billion. And for the Oilers, it would be $7 million, giving us a $1 million discount. Wow, thank you for that. That's super nice, $1 million bucks. In a non-salary cap world, I'm doing everything in my power to get Kane back. That's just it though. How much are you willing to spend on a guy who might screw everything the Oilers got going on? What I mean by this is Mr. Ken Holland is very adamant about developing, players through the system, starting from the draft to the minors to the Oilers. That's how you win. He said that, and I don't know if you're an Oilers fan, but he said that in pretty well every one of his pressers that he's done. He's like, oh yeah, I like bringing the players up, the good players, bringing the players up from, the minors when I was in Detroit. He likes to refer back to his Detroit days, but if he was to sign Kane, that pretty well goes against everything he's told us to this point, everything he's believed in. But I mean, he's doing a lot of things that he's never done with the Oilers. Dave Tippett, how you doing? But yeah, so that's it's gonna be interesting to see. Obviously the numbers don't lie. There's a reason to believe why he would go against his morals, because you look at the numbers. Wow, 39 points in 43 games played. That's like an 80-point season, or on pace for an 80-point season. Pretty well close. 17 points in 15 games played in the playoffs, when you could argue hockey's a lot tougher and it's a lot harder to score goals. So I do, see why, pretty well every Oilers fan sees why this is super intriguing, and yeah, so it'll be interesting to see, but time will tell. The next player that is up is Kailer Yamamoto. Yamamoto played 81 games this season, registering 41 points, 20 goals, 21 assists. In the playoffs, he was able to put up 2 goals, 5 assists for 7 points in just 14 games played. So nothing too crazy, not too bad though. Yamo is an absolute workhorse out there. Despite his size, he does not let that hinder his game. Yamo was honestly one of the more physical players the Oilers had in the playoffs this year. It was super nice to see him come out into his own near the end of the season. I think he registered a goal in 6 straight games. It was something like that. Don't word me or don't credit me for that, but I remember him going on a pretty decent run. It was either points or goals. I'm pretty sure it was goals. he's scored in consecutive games, but I forget the exact number and I'm too lazy to look it up. So that's it. It's above average. That's the channel's name. It's not amazing. It's average. We're average here. Yeah, it was something like that, and it was nice to see. He's getting a lot more comfortable carrying the puck down the ice and isn't passing it to either McDavid or Draisaitl as soon as he gets the puck like he was before. You know, what I mean by this is he'd get the puck, you know, and he's ready, so he'd be like this, and he'd look, and he'd see Connor, and he'd see Leon, and as soon as he got it, he'd be like, yep, you take it, skate it, do something with it. Which, I mean, isn't really a bad thing, but, you know, when you're doing that so much, it's, you know, like, that's not always the best play, you know? So, and he's starting to realize that if he has open lanes, he's like, oh, these guys are both cut off, you know, I'm gonna skate up with the puck, which he's starting to do, and that is nice. That's what you want to see. He was able to utilize his one-timer a lot more nearing the end of the season, which was also super nice to see. I know when he was drafted back in, I think it was 2018, 22nd overall, that was one of his, you know, biggest attributes was his shot. I remember them saying, you know, this is going to be great because Jordan Eberle never really had that one-timer shot, so, you know, Yamamoto in later years will slip in right in that right shot on the power play and he'll be able to use his one-timer. So, obviously, that hasn't really been the case, but he still has been able to, you know, lift the puck up and, you know, he's got a decent shot. He's got a nice one-timer and he was able to put that on, you know, a show for us Oilers fans, and it was nice to see. And, you know, here's hoping he's going to do a lot more of that. Yamo is certainly a player I see the Oilers having for a long time. I don't think it's out of the equation that he will soon rack up a 60-point season. Like, I mean, he's playing with Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl. He's only getting better with age, right? So I don't think that's far from in between. Like, there's definitely going to be a 60-point season somewhere down the road for Kailer Yamamoto. I don't know when. It could be as early as next year, and I wouldn't be surprised. My only concern is if we don't sign this guy now, long term, he could potentially ask for way more down the road. This is a huge concern, you know. Just look at Darnell Nurse. Bridge deal, bridge deal, bridge deal. Miro Heiskanen signs a whopping deal. Frickin' Cale Makar does. Fox does. Charlie McAvoy does. And then Nurse is like looking at Kenny Hall and like, hey, look at all these, you know? That's what the market is, so you gotta give me $9 million. Yeah, so that sucks, and we can't keep doing that. That's no way to, you know, it's just terrible. You know, I'm so annoyed at bridge deals. Sometimes they work, but sometimes they really, really bite you in the ass. And here's hoping it doesn't bite us in the ass with Yamamoto. If I'm the GM, I'm gonna try and sign him on a pretty long term, like immediately. And yeah, so that's Kailer Yamamoto. Last but not least, the Bison King himself, Jesse Puljujärvi. Jesse Puljujärvi, goal, Jesse Puljujärvi.
Mikko ratkaisee! Puljujärven loistava peli! Hän petaa
Jesse played 65 games this year, and he was able to put up 36 points, 14 goals, 22 assists, and in the playoffs, it kind of tapered off a little bit. He had 16 games played and only put up 3 points, 2 goals, and 1 assist. Now, one of the most controversial Oilers of all time, I swear. You either love him or you hate him, but personally, I love this player, and I mean I absolutely love this player. And I hate the fact that so many fans do nothing but shit on him. Yes, his production did taper off quite a bit near the end of the season, especially in the playoffs, but hockey isn't all offense. Jesse was by far one of the best defensive forwards for the Oilers all season. There wasn't a single shift all year that he didn't give it his all. Jesse is very positionally sound, and although that doesn't raise your eyebrows and isn't the most exciting part of the game, it is an essential part of the game. It's essential. You know, every team needs a defensive-minded player, someone who prioritizes defense over offense. And I'm not saying that he does that. All I'm saying is that when the puck's not going in for him, like it should be, at least he's playing an exceptional two-way game. Yes, he does have the potential to be a consistent 20-goal scorer in the league. I do believe that. He is so close, and I can't tell you how unlucky of a player he is. If you're an Oilers fan, if you're a Jesse fan like me, you'll be watching this guy and you'll be rooting for him, and it's like something, you can't make this stuff up. If he's on a 2-on-1 and gets a pass, he'll most likely fan on the shot. or his stick will break, or the puck will hop over his stick. I've never seen anything like it. He has the chances. It's not like the chances aren't there, but he needs to start capitalizing on the chances. And when he does, the puck will start going in. I literally, like, there's so many, man, if I could find this footage, if there was like a segment of like Jesse's fumbles, then I would totally like snag those and show you guys, but it's hard. It would be hard to find that, but man, I can't be more serious. I've never seen a player like just be so unlucky. He'll either like every time he could be on a breakaway and the puck will like bounce on his stick, or he'll fumble the puck and then it's under his skate and then he gets hit and then there goes that. Like, it's super unfortunate, but the thing is he's getting those chances, and the second he starts capitalizing on those chances is when hopefully he'll be able to shut up all the haters, and that's what I want. I can't make it up. It's no one can make it up. It's crazy. I've never seen anything like it. But so those are the players. If I were to keep two and let one go, I mean, it's not easy. It's definitely not easy. Honestly, the real only scenario here is keep Jesse and keep Yamamoto, and obviously let Kane go. If he's asking $7 million, we can't really afford that. In a dream world, obviously I'd love to have Evander Kane back. Like I said, he makes our top six way more lethal, way more than Jesse or Yamamoto can. Especially right now. And that's a huge hole. He fit in so well with McDavid and with Draisaitl when they played a few games, but I mean, he really came into his own near the end there, and especially in the playoffs playing with McDavid. That was just so exciting, and it was just so nice to see. So honestly, obviously, I think the best thing to do is to let Kane go, unless he wins the lottery and wins like 60. I think it's the jackpot is like 65 mil. If he wins that and he's like, yeah, okay, I'll take a discount. Oh, you guys can sign me for 4 or 3 mil. That would be nice. Obviously, that's probably not going to happen. But I mean, and the reason I say that is because I really do think Jesse needs a change of scenery. I honestly could see him going elsewhere. I don't know, any other team, like maybe out east, and maybe Montreal. I could see him doing good in Montreal and just being, himself, and just, sometimes that works for players. It's super weird. The game of hockey is weird. Other players don't really do good on some teams, and then they get traded, and then they do really, really good. Look at, for Oilers example, Alex Chiasson. He sucked. He sucked everywhere in the league. He had career years in Edmonton. So did kind of Pat Maroon. He was a long slide shotgun with Connor McDavid, but some players just don't fit into where they're currently at, and I honestly would love to see Jesse. I just want to see him be happy and just do good. So in a dream world, I'm signing Yamo and I'm signing Kane, and on pretty cheap, pretty normal deals, and I'm trading Jesse for maybe a draft pick and a player, maybe a goalie. But obviously I don't think that's going to happen. So we're probably most likely going to sign Yamamoto and Jesse Puljujarvi back. And that's not a bad thing. It really isn't. Those are still two good players, and I think Jesse, at the beginning of the year, people forget how dominant he was. I remember like in the first 2 weeks he was leading the league he was like second in assists, and he was like fourth in points. He was doing really, really good at the start of the year, and so it kind of sucks how it tapered off quite quickly. But anyway, guys, that's all I got for this video. I'd love to hear your opinion. I'd love to get your thoughts. I had a lot of fun with this video. If you're new to the channel, as always, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. If you're a hockey fan or Oilers fan, I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think the Oilers should trade Jesse Puljujarvi? Should we sign Kane and Yamo? Should we let Yamo go? I don't know. I'd love to hear your thoughts though, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.